Okay, hello, welcome back to the Life, Likes, and Landing Pages podcast, also known as the 3Ls podcast. This is episode 5, and there's
Yeah.
been a couple of weeks between this episode and our last episode, and we're going to talk about why during this episode. I just feel like I've said episode so many times in that little intro, but we're going to persevere.
It's fine.
The
Yeah.
whole point of this podcast, when Kim and I originally sat down and talked about it, was yes, we are marketing experts and copywriting experts in our own right. And yes, we want to share and impart knowledge with you on those topics. But we're also business owners. We're also partners, foster moms. Kim is now a foster mom herself to a little foster cat.
Yay.
Which we're going to talk about. The title of the podcast is Life, Likes, and Landing Pages. And we haven't covered any of the life part of that up to now. And there's been a few changes. There's been some developments. There's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes in each of our lives. And we're going to share that with you. And it might be vulnerable. It might be, a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. Who knows? We don't know how this is going to play out. But if it's going to be anything guaranteed, it's going to be raw and real, which is exactly what we want to be during this podcast. So I'm not really sure how to start this one, to be honest with you, because what do we do? You go, I go. How do we do this?
I don't know.
Where do you want to start? Let's
mean,
start with, because you, Kim,
yeah.
have just essentially launched or going through the process of launching a new business. Let's start with that.
Yeah. Okay, let's start with that. Yeah, that's a good start. So it's not really launching a new business.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically okay. So when I started my copywriting business or marketing business, I basically just put a post on LinkedIn, and I've had clients ever since. So I've never really launched my business. I had a website, but I was almost like ashamed to send people to that, because I just made it myself and I knew it looked shitty. That's the downside of like being a marketeer, with, that it's bad kind of thing.
Yeah, so the
But I didn't
outside
have
eye,
the
they may be
budget.
like, oh, look, it's okay. But you're like, oh my God, no, I can
Yeah.
see all the glaring
Yeah.
evidence.
Exactly. So luckily I've been following this designer for a while, and I really liked her style. And she put on Instagram that she's trying a new offer that makes it a bit easier, aka cheaper, to get a new website. And basically, as I jumped on that as a chance to finally get that website sorted. And then I started thinking, and it was already a little bit of a thought, but that kind of like gave me the kick in the butt that I needed to get started. Is I feel like I need to view myself and the work that I do more as a business and less as a side hustle. So even though I've been full-time as a copywriter for over a year now, I am marketeer for over a year now, I never really took it seriously. It was always like, it just happened and I enjoy it, but it just happened. So, you, Gayle, you preach more than anyone. Like, you need to have a strategy, you need to have a plan. And I didn't. My plan was just to go with the flow. And that's great as long as it's flowing. But when it stops flowing, then the strategy takes over.
Mm-hmm. And that I just want to interject there for a second, with two things that reinforces what I do say about the strategy being the foundation of your house. And if you build a house on a piece of land that has no foundation, the first gust of wind that comes along is going to knock it down. I'm not saying that's what's happening with you, Kim, but but I will also say that I think marketers are the worst when it comes to doing their own strategy. And I'm going to hold my hand up and say guilty as charged.
Yeah.
So
I think that for me, it's because I saw it as like just me doing something, basically. I never really approached it as a business. And so when someone also, like, I had the biggest trouble calling myself a business owner because I didn't feel like a business owner. I felt like a freelancer.
Well, I was going to say, do you think the problem with you calling it a business and just kind of seeing it as a side hustle, do you think that comes from like, and we've talked about this previously on the podcast, do you think that there's an element of imposter syndrome in that there?
Yeah, I think that probably is, but I also think it's I also think it's because I basically started just to gap a bridge. Like I really thought this was going to be for a couple of months tops. And
it's like a means to an end whilst everything was happening with visas.
Yeah. It was basically for people who don't really know my background. So I was during the whole pandemic, I was stuck in the Netherlands and my partner was here in Australia. And because Australia's borders were so strict, I wasn't able to go back in. So when they finally opened the borders to tourists again, I didn't have my work permit yet, but I didn't have a tourist visa. So I decided not to wait on that work permit and just to go to Australia, work as a freelancer in the meantime. And then when I got my work permit, I would find a job. That was the plan. And then the jobs kept coming and going. And, so I think that's why it felt a little too easy or something to call myself a business owner. It's a bit strange maybe, but definitely imposter syndrome is part.
I get it.
Yeah.
And I'm not the same as you. Like I did set out the intention of setting up a business. And I think, imposter syndrome has kind of presented itself to me in different ways. Because when I tell, like people say, oh, what do you do? I don't think I've ever said I'm a business owner. But I'm a business owner. Why do we not shout about that? But that is something to be really proud of. Like, why are we not telling people we are business owners? But I feel like maybe, and I feel like there's potentially an element of the female coming in here, but we downplay ourselves. And I think, I am working towards the point where I'm starting to say, no, I'm a business owner. What do you do? I'm a business owner.
Yeah.
This is my business.
Yeah.
I think we should start saying that high and proud, like heads high. And like, this is me, this is what I'm doing. Because setting up a business is not easy, which I think we're going to talk about more in this podcast. And but we're sticking with it. And there's a lot to be said for that. And there's a reason why not everyone can be a business owner. So it's something to be proud of that we've got this far. And I've come to you for like, Kim, processes, like procedures, help, what the fuck am I doing? You've got a really good business mind. So shout about it.
And I think that's what so I know I'm good in, okay, this sounds a bit weird maybe, but I know I'm good as an employee. Like I know I understand business, I understand a lot of different departments, I understand sales, marketing, IT. I understand the product development. I've worked in a lot of different areas in corporate environment kind of thing. So I think I've never had the ambition of having my own business. Like that's not at one point I thought, oh, I'll have my own farm and I'll make money out of that. Like that would be my business, but that's a very different kind of business than what I'm doing right now. So all in all, it just never happens that I actually launched it properly, and that now I'm going to invest in a website. And that's also a thing, like, when you're investing things, you do have that, like, I'm in it with, like, what do you say, that teeth and hair or something, hair and teeth.
It's kind of like it's like you're saying to yourself, like, if I'm going to I have no idea what you're talking about, by the way. I don't know what, that must be some sort of Dutch saying that doesn't quite translate to English very well. We're just going to go with it. I was going to like, do I gloss over that or
just ignore it?
No, I think when you invest in your business, and I have sat here today and actually I'm in the process of getting everything together for my tax return and I realized how much I have actually invested in this business, and I'm like, whoa, there's no going back now. This is non-negotiable. This has to work. And I think every time you invest in something, you're making a deal with yourself that you're not going to stop. You are going to make this work, because at the very least you now need to make this money back. Like, every time you invest in something, you're like, it's an agreement with yourself that you're going to push, you really do think you can do this, and B, you're really going to push for it. So I think investing in things
100%. And I have not done that. I have not invested in my business so far. I've done a couple of courses, so it's not like I invested in my skills, but not in like my business. Like, I didn't have a website. I've talked to a business coach, and that was very good, like, to define my offers, but then I didn't do anything with it because, and I blame it on the website, but let's be realistic. It's just me not doing anything. So it's is it a relaunch or is it a launch? Not sure. But it's a
step forward.
It's a step forward.
It's exciting.
Yes, I'm really excited about it, actually. And it's going to have a new Instagram account and new website, new offer suites. I'm really like, putting my teeth in it and like really get going with it.
You're going all in.
I'm going all in. And it's the first time in that year that I actually feel like I have to, because my, all my clients came from my network, and that kind of, it has been drying out a little bit. So, see where Copy Kim's gonna go.
And what's the Instagram handle? It's copy.kimau, is it?
Yeah. Hopefully it will be Copy Kim eventually again, but at the moment it's Copy Kim _AU.
So all one word, Copy Kim.
Yeah, I'll put it in the description.
Put it in the show notes just in case anyone does want to hop on and support Kim's new business venture. New / existing / established business venture. We haven't decided. We can't figure it out.
No, just if you want to support me
in any way
and get copywriting tips, then cool.
That's exciting. And I think we were talking before we started recording. I'm kind of in a similar place in a weird roundabout way. So here's where the raw and honest and vulnerable comes, guys. I lost my first and only retainer client this week. And it's Friday. It's Friday when I'm recording this. So she called me on Monday and she cancelled the contract. And it's been a learning curve in a few different ways. Now, first of all, she did make it very clear to me that it's not anything that I did or didn't do, which was nice. It's just, the typical business story of like, she just doesn't have the money to outsource at the moment.
Yeah.
And if she finds herself in a position where she can, she will happily come back. But, you can't go through life relying on the what ifs and what might happen. So it's been a weird week, because you would think that something like that would kind of, I was going to say affect you, and it's not that it hasn't affected me, but how I would normally respond to something like that is to kind of break down a little bit, cry, and then just kind of go, right, I've had my cry, get on, what am I going to do about it? But I've had a busy week, and it's been busy in a good way, but I don't really feel like I've done anything to mitigate or fix this now problem that I have, which is still not stressing me out. I feel like I should be more stressed, if I'm honest. And I think that's a problem. I think it's a problem that I'm not stressed. And I think
is it though?
I think the reason why is potentially going to pose a problem if I don't fix it, if I'm honest. Because the reason, I don't think my focus has been on my business recently. My clients, yes, 100%, they have me. I'm present, and I'm there, and I'm giving them everything, delivering what I'm meant to be delivering. But my business, And I touched on it in a previous episode in terms of like the imposter syndrome and all that kind of stuff. But this brings me to like, you know, another part of what I was going to talk about today, and that is just how life is knocking me around and impacting my ability to kind of be present with a few things. Because I don't know, for those of you who don't know, I became a foster parent in March for the first time this year. Something that I've wanted to do for years and years and years. Couldn't because of visa restrictions. And then once I got my permanent residency in Australia, I started the process of becoming the training and the application and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, one of the best things I've ever done. He is, Kim knows, he's my best friend. I love him. I am going to get emotional. A couple of weeks ago, I've been struggling to, I think I've been struggling, if I'm completely honest with myself, to juggle essentially what is single mother life with trying to also build a business. And I think I've been doing an all right kind of job, but as it's gone on and time's moved on and things have been, you know, progressing with this and progressing with that, I feel like I've just become quite overwhelmed, if I'm honest. And then a few weeks ago, it was kind of,
I think it's also, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I think it's also normal because it's such a big
I
change.
Like, and I didn't go into this naively. I knew exactly what impact it was going to have on my life. But I guess a big part of my personality is that I do overextend myself sometimes. And I do it willingly because I want to do all of these things and I have big goals and I'm quite driven. But sometimes I need to take a step back. I've kind of I'm 100% present for this little boy. I'm not gonna mention any names or anything like that during this process, but I'm 100% present for this little boy. And like I say, he is my best mate. I think I didn't go into this naively, but I did underestimate the impact that he would have on my heart. And I love this little boy so much. And a few weeks ago, I was hit with, we're going to start the reunification process. And that has brought up a lot of different emotions for me. Firstly, I think that they are rushing it. And I have concerns about, you know, how he's going to respond to that. And his response to the process so far has actually been quite challenging. And he isn't responding very well. So he's very confused, and the changes that have been thrust upon him have resulted in, unfortunately, manifests with him through some self-harming behaviors, which is incredibly difficult to watch and navigate and support. But then there's other elements that have come into this as well for me. I've been told that as long as where he's going back to is adequate, that's good enough for the department. Now, I'm not going to get too political or anything with this, but I understand the challenges that these departments have that drive these decisions. But it's been a little bit triggering for me because I was a foster kid myself, and I was sent back to adequate, and I didn't necessarily have the best childhood. So there's a lot of things that have been going on in the last few weeks in my personal life that have absolutely derailed me from a business perspective. And at some point, something does have to give. And because if it doesn't, you're going to burn out. And I've experienced burnout before, which we'll talk about in a later episode, I'm sure. And I think you said, Kim, you've experienced burnout as well. So I think in the pursuit of trying to avoid that, you've got to make some allowances, and the allowances that have been made is that my business is just kind of, I haven't posted on my social media. I've had every intention to, but if I don't pull back from something, then I'm gonna just crumble, basically. So
I do think if I can say this, like, because I do feel like you're still taking care of yourself. And
I don't know if I
seems,
to be honest.
Because I feel like you do take that, you know, like go on a camping trip and to me, that is like way more important than your business, you know, like it's obviously it's a little bit, it needs to be a little in balance, but those things are also what keeps you from that burnout, to let your cup be filled up, you know, like
I feel like I've let go of a lot of self-care things. Like I used to go to the gym every day. I haven't been to the gym once this week. I've just been too busy. And I feel like, you know, a lot of my self-care things have kind of disappeared, if I'm honest. But I guess the point of sharing all of this is that, you know, sometimes life knocks you for six and then it knocks you for six again. So all of this stuff with the business has been going on, and I've been very conscious in that, you know, I've not been giving everything that I could to the business, and now I've lost my only retainer client, which she has said is nothing to do with me. So I can't, you know, punish myself in a way for, I can't kind of relate that to not being present in the business, because I do want to stress I've been 100% present for my clients. But it's given me a bit of a kick up the arse, kind of similar to what you said, in that, I need to now prioritize finding a balance, because this is not sustainable. So I've also taken a step back this week in between a few events that I've been going to, which have been really good events, by the way. I've got so much to share regarding those events. But I think I might be pivoting. I haven't fully made the decision yet, but I think I might be pivoting long term. So I think you know, there's some short term stuff that I do need to continue with in order to pay the bills and bring that revenue in. But essentially, I do think that I am going to commit, because it was an idea, but I think I am going to commit to moving more down the coaching route than the done for you services. Unless it's a brand that I'm like, yes, I would love to work on that, I think I'm going to prioritize coaching. And that's scary, because that is not regular income. That is not a retainer client that pays you every month. So I too have had to kind of sit there and think about my strategy and how am I going to manage this pivot. And that means that, you know, there's going to be changes to my website, which is up shit's creek as it is at the moment. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, because it's it does need some rejigging. But so I've kind of been sitting there and thinking, you know, how can I do this? How can I I still gonna, like I say, if it's a brand I really want to work on, I will still do done for you services. But I think, and I've always wanted to niche in the fitness industry as well. So I think I'm going to roll with that. I started kind of, and then I pulled back. I kind of started that process, and I went, no. And imposter syndrome came, and now I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to go for it. So I set up a new domain. I registered as a new company. So the two can, the two can I'm still going to have my company here. That's going to be more of a less niche, but I've set up a company to specifically niche into the fitness industry. And exciting, which kind of negates everything that I just said about finding a better balance, because now what I'm saying essentially is I'm going to run two companies, but I'm confident I can make this work. Check in like 3 months time and see how old I look at that point.
The next life update will
so that's a life update for me. Like there's been a lot going on.
Do you have a name that you can share yet, or
kind of similar to my current branding, to be honest. So at the moment it's your digital marketing mentor, the digital marketing mentor. Now it's the online fitness business coach. Or in addition, so the online fit. I was very surprised that I got that, to be honest, because someone hasn't snapped that up. That's an SEO dream. So excited to kind of go with that. It's going to be a slow process. I'm not going to be going into this hard and fast like a lot of people would say, you know, go into it hard and fast. But everything's registered, all the domains, the social media, everything is kind of registered. So and like I say, it will be built. There's still some details that I'm figuring out, but it will be built alongside what's already currently there. So
that's exciting.
Watch this space.
That's really cool. Yeah.
That was new information for you, Kim. I didn't even know that I was going to say
That
that on this
was.
podcast. To be honest, did I just soft launch a business that I still haven't figured out yet? But no,
Yeah, you did.
yeah, that's how we do things here.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's kind of what's going on behind the scenes with me. It's not easy. It's not easy to juggle all of this stuff, to be honest. But
No, yeah, I have it kind of I have my partner, he had an event this week that I helped with. But yeah, we don't have any kids. We have a little foster child.
Which is kind of the same.
Furcal. Can I show? Can you see him?
Let's see if we can see the kitty.
There he is. Oh,
what's the name?
Okay, yeah. So he's RSPCA. So we haven't thought of the name, but his name is Victor, and I think it's a really funny name for a cat. At first I didn't like it, but now I kind of like it. And my friend instantly said, "Oh, it's like you, like Victor Frankenstein." And I like horror films and everything. So she's like, "Oh, yeah, Victor Frankenstein." Because and my parents, I also have a cat, and her name is Frankie. So I have Victor and I have Frankie. So now I need Stein, and then Mary Shelley can be happy with me. But yeah, he's been really cute, but a little
well, you've had a big that's a disruption in itself, because you found yourself having multiple vet trips, and like you were saying, yeah.
It's not too bad, but he has a little separation anxiety, so he follows me everywhere, and like now he's asleep, so then it's fun, but especially at night he just like follows us and like. Yeah, he talks a lot, which again is fun. Yeah. Unless he start like screaming at us, but he's very cute. So yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah.
So I think when we're talking about obviously the life element and the business element and all that kind of stuff, I feel like it's appropriate. And you and I didn't talk about this before, so I'm kind of throwing this at you as well. But I feel like it's appropriate, because I would do this with my clients, and you might do something similar with yours as well, to set some goals and to use this as an opportunity to maybe set something for ourselves to hold us accountable, that we can then come back in a future episode and talk about. Because these things that we're doing with our businesses, they're big things. So where do you have you sat down and thought about any goals with what you're doing at the moment and where you want to be?
So it depends a little bit on what you define as goals. I find it very difficult to make quantity goals. So like I have X amount of clients or X amount of followers. I find that very difficult, and it disrupts my thinking, because I get a pressure that I feel. There's a quote from, I want to say Bob Marley, but I'm not 100% sure, where he says, numbers go on forever. So if you're chasing money or if you're chasing numbers, you go on forever. And that's how I feel when I set a number. Yeah, I can't. So I haven't set any goals with numbers.
What about qualitative goals?
Yeah, so I'm going to do a hard launch, like a big launch in October, first week in October.
Yeah.
And then everything's ready: blog, website, social media account, offer suite, customer journey, all that stuff. And then what I would like is that by the end of the year, I have a couple of, different products sold through my website.
Yeah.
That would be I don't know. I say with a question mark, so it doesn't really feel like a goal, but that would be a goal.
No, I understand where you're coming from. Like it's hard to kind of almost commit to that, because But I know what you're saying. The only reason I brought it up is because I feel like I need a little bit of this accountability myself, to be honest. So I threw you under the bus for myself. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, Kim.
So So what are your goals then?
I'm the same. I haven't really set any quantitative goals, but qualitative goal wise, my focus is getting back on track. I need to get back on track. I started my first business like really consistently and all of that kind of stuff. So, but I understand that, I'm not gonna, because I think this is what I've been trying. I've been trying to get back to the level of consistency that I had. So I think I need to just do it in incremental steps. Commit to posting 3 times a week, commit to posting 4 times a week, then move it up, then start my newsletter again, then start my blogs, whatever it might be. But I think for me, my main focus is going to be getting my offer suite together as well. Like really just nailing my offer, because I think when I set my business up, and this comes back to what I was saying about marketers being the worst for creating their own strategy. I skipped a few steps. I did.
Yeah.
Because there was a need for me to just get it out there. And a lot of clients and a lot of customers and a lot of businesses, that's why they don't have strategies, because they don't have time to sit there and think about that. They think they don't have time to sit there and think about that. They just need to be getting out there and making money. But if you actually sit there and think about that, the journey to revenue might be a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
So I think I need to scale back. I think I need to take a step back and go back and start practicing what I preach, and put those strategies in place and really come up with an absolutely nailed offer. And I went to a business seminar yesterday that lit a fire in my belly, to be honest. And it mainly lit a fire in my belly because I sat there the whole day going, I know this shit. I know this shit, right? Why aren't I doing it? Because this guy stood in front of me. He's 28 years old. He's earning money that I can't even comprehend dreaming about right now. And the difference between him and me isn't knowledge. The difference between him and me is action. So it's time to start putting the imposter syndrome aside, believing in myself, finding a bit of a better balance, getting back to self-care, starting to look after myself a little bit more so that I have the space to really drive these businesses forward, because I want this. And I think I've not allowed myself to say that because I believed that it could happen. But now after yesterday, I don't know how long this will last, but after yesterday, I believe it can happen. I believe it can happen, and I have to kind of keep running with that and maybe be reminded every once in a while, Kim. But I believe it can happen. So it's weird because at the beginning, I started this week like in a pretty shit position, to be honest. Like I've just lost my only retainer client, but I'm feeling probably more hopeful than ever. It's weird. It's a weird place to be in.
Yeah. It's again one of my great references from Friends, where they say sometimes you need to fear to get to that next step. And so I think that's what we're describing right now.
Who says that, sorry?
I think it's when Rachel in Friends. I think it's when Rachel wants to quit her job to like work in fashion.
I didn't know Friends was so profound.
I don't think it is per se, but I think they say you just need to fear. I think it's Chandler that tells her like you just need to fear, and then she quits her job, and then she gets that fear, and it does move her to that next level. But you have to go through a little bit of a valley before you can go up the mountain. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I think there's merit to that, because how many people how many people find themselves, we get complacent, and when we're complacent, nothing happens. And when something comes along, when something comes along, that's the catalyst to actually be taking action. And so I didn't know Chandler was so profound, and I'm a massive Friends fan. I must have missed that one.
It's very early on when she's still a waitress, so very early on in the
okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
My sister will be proud of me that I'm making a
Friends reference. All right, so we've shared our little life.
All right.
Anything else going on with you, Kim, that we should know about?
No. I mean, we're working on our veggie garden, but I don't think that's something to share here, really.
No, I think if you can teach me how to grow tomatoes is meant to be the easiest one to grow, and I've managed to kill them twice. So
yeah, we got a whole tomato plant, which is pretty much dead. So we are trying to revive it. Well, no, we're trying to revive it. but it's not happening yet. It's still quite.
I would love to say that I will be self-sustaining, but if I can't, I killed a cactus once.
I did too.
To be the
and I am trying. And I am trying to do the hard side.
I've killed a cactus and I've killed an aloe vera. They're meant to be the two hardest plants to kill. So if the world goes to shit and we all have to fend for ourselves and grow our own vegetables, I'll be moving in with you, Kim.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I don't have a great track record either, but we're going to get there. We did grow some tomatoes, and we did grow in when we were still in Brisbane, and we did grow a cucumber, but some tomatoes and the cucumbers got stolen by probably possums. So,
look at those possums.
Yeah.
Rude.
Anyway, I think that's a little bit what's going on in my.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where you take this business. I'm excited to see you acknowledge yourself as a business owner, because you absolutely are. I think you've got a fantastic business like driven mind, and let's see where we both are at the end of the year, which is not far away.
The next episode.
Yeah, and well, the next episode might be cutting it a little bit fine, Kim. Give me some time.
No, the next live update.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, piling on the pressure there. We're doing it quickly.
No.
Kim drives you hard. That's a bit more.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place to end.
I know. Wait, I got this. Can I make a little whip out of this?
Oh, probably.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not working. All right.
All right. We'll see you for the next episode.
For listening.
As always, if you have any topics that you would like us to cover, anything you would like us to teach you, discuss, anything, put it in the notes or comments or whatnot. And if you found this interesting, useful, enlightening, if you found it validating or you resonated with it in any way, let us know. And we'll see you for the next episode.
Yeah, and I'll in the show notes, I'll put some of our links to our Instagram and everything if you guys want to follow. And see you next episode.
See you next episode. Bye.